Angela, we were asking where you are, and you said you are institutionalized, and I'm going to guess it was Tim Scott's speech that put you over the edge.
Yeah, we're just having a little disagreement about what sanity is right now, me and the doctors.
Listen, I defended you. I know he meant you when he said some progressives have called me an Uncle Tom, and I said Frangela did not. They just were defending him on how good the biscuits are in the big house, as opposed.
That's right. You can't make a better biscuit.
No.
Than Tim Scott, okay?
No. While tap dancing?
Thank you, Francis. Thank you.
Yeah.
Plus, this man, his opening act at the Vaudevillian show is amazing.
How about hashtag justice is in some cases coming, in some cases here this morning? Glenn Kirshner talking about the pattern and practices, investigations into police departments that Ahmaud Arbery's killers are right, and they were ready to come after Chauvin on civil rights charges if he was not convicted, that these people are going to keep paying, right? Justice, there is justice in the Justice Department again, right?
Again, this is what I voted for. This is what we made. We sent out postcards for. This is why you were phone banking every weekend. This is why we went out and marched. Is for these types of things.
Yep. We're just so battered that we didn't. For a minute, I think we all thought we couldn't have them.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. The vice president. I mean, first of all, I can't. When they post the picture of the little black girl going into the segregated school next to Kamala Harris walking into the State of the Union, I can't. I just have tears. But I mean, just that tableau, right, of Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris was.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I was feeling it. It was giving me life I was like, look at this. This has never happened before.
I know.
I know the elbow bumps. And it's two women and a woman of color.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? And someone just really did a really great thread about, could you imagine for the next 240 years that we only elect women?
Oh, hello.
And that there are no men.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, how would men respond to that?
I like that somebody's little girl reacted by saying, why don't the women get to talk? They're already over the whole thing about there's two women. They're like, no, okay. Yeah, and Joy Reid will have Hillary Clinton on today. It should have been three women. Don't talk to me about it. Okay, Kamala Harris's thoughts on racism diverged from Tim Scott's just a little.
No, I don't think America is a racist country, but we also do have to speak truth about the history of racism in our country and its existence today. And I applaud the president for always having the ability and the courage, frankly, to speak the truth about it. He spoke what we know from the intelligence community. One of the greatest threats to our national security is domestic terrorism, manifested by white supremacists.
Yeah. That was right. Just white supremacy is terrorism. Just that the president spoke those words, right?
It's always been, and this is the thing, white supremacy has always been the greatest threat to our nation.
Yeah.
That is the thing that I think we really need to get in our head. I feel like Jason Johnson says this every day really well, which is that Black people being able to vote is actually pretty young.
Right.
Like that's only like 40, 50 years of our history. But really most of our history has been, things have gotten better. But if you want to talk about patience.
Let me just tell you what was in my morning stack, Angela, that where every issue just diverges into one. Former Georgia deputy bragged that he'd charged Black people with fake felonies to strip them of voting rights. So that would be another voter suppression technique that we just hadn't heard of till right now.
Yeah.
They're already doing it. I'm glad that he at least said it.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And it's not just in one state. We have 50 states in this country where white supremacy is the law of the land in a lot of areas. So that
am I the only one that
there's nothing but harassment?
Tim Scott also said, my family, we went from cotton to Congress. And I was like, so that would imply that your ancestors were in fact owned by white people in this country that is not at all racist?
Right.
I I don't speak pancake, so I don't know what he said.
Once again, Frangela has the most elegant way of not calling Tim Scott an Uncle Tom. Okay, let's.
No, he's not good enough to be an uncle. He's maybe a second cousin Tom.
Yeah. He wishes he was an uncle.
Wishes
Good
he
enough to
was
be
an
an Uncle
uncle.
Tom.
He wishes
They
he
won't
was
let
an
him be an
uncle.
Uncle Tom.
He's like a neighbor Tom.
There are things to see. This is how I get through my weekends. Just there are things I will burst out laughing later that Frangela said on Friday. Okay, all right, Madam Vice President, please go ahead.
And so these are issues that we must confront, and it does not help to heal our country, to unify us as a people, to ignore the realities of that. And I think the president has been outstanding and a real national leader on the issue of saying, let's confront the realities and let's deal with it, knowing we all have so much more in common than what separates us. And the idea is that we want to unify the country, but not without speaking truth and requiring accountability as appropriate.
In honor of the Vice President's thoughts and unifying black and white, Angela, I would like to give you some advice. The next time we were on tour, which it looks like, right, my second shot's today, we'll be back. When at an airport bar, I asked you to write down on a Chardonnay cocktail napkin every crime you ever committed and give it to me. Don't do it.
Don't do that?
Yes, the
Don't
time
do
you
it?
started the bar fight in Minneapolis, that thing, whatever. Don't do that again. Don't.
I just, you know what? I was really tired. And like we said, there's no reason to play 3 Santana songs. There's just no reason to do that.
Two is fine.
2 is the max. You don't need 3 in a row. That's gilding the lily. That's too much.
Yeah, that borders on abuse.
And you know what? A Nickelback song, there is no jury,
There's no
judge in the
excuse for
country that
that.
will
There's no
convict you.
excuse.
Yeah, no, yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's now that we've covered that. Chris, what did you call it at the top of the show? How many layers of dumb are?
It's a 7-layer dip of dumb.
Right. Matt Gaetz and Giuliani. It's all, oh my God, dumb.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Matt Gaetz. Thank God.
I don't even know what to do with, wait a minute, just to be clear, let me write down every crime I've committed and send it in a letter, or that I know that this person committed, write it down and send it to another criminal. So that
He sent it to the shadiest person ever.
Who was trying to get his own pardon? Who didn't even have his own pardon yet? Oh my God. It's just, yes. And it was, yes, I had sex with a 17-year-old girl with Matt Gaetz. And we paid for it on a public Venmo. I can't. I don't. I love that you're.
But
go ahead.
I was just going to say, but at the end of the day, what he wasn't just writing that's their currency.
Right.
Yeah.
These sexual acts, paying for it, the sexualization of women and bragging about it is currency in that community.
I just love that Chris's seat just appeared right as we brought up the Matt Gaetz story. Okay, it just is a visual.
She wants some attention.
Yeah,
I wouldn't leave my pets alone with Matt Gaetz. I wouldn't.
No, not at all.
No. So yeah, and the Giuliani, I just can't. We were saying they're both so screwed. Gaetz and Giuliani, they have their receipts, right? Like Glenn Kirshner just told us, Lordy, there's tapes. The Ukrainian. What do you call it? Officials were cooperating with the FBI while they were still talking to Giuliani. So that's how they got the warrant, is they already have the receipts, right? And now they have all the receipts with Matt Gaetz. Greenberg also took screenshots of texts and things that might have disappeared on one of those disappearing apps or whatever. I mean, it's oh my God, right? Like, oh my God.
Literally, we can't even, this is why we can't have them an idiot of the week. Because their idiocy, it's like professional versus amateur. Like people who set their houses on fire because they tried to use fire to kill some bugs are geniuses compared to these people.
Yeah. And these people were in positions of power, and they were running the country, and that's what scares me.
Do people in commercials do they qualify for Idiot of the Week? The lady that throws the plate of food at the termites and knocks her whole deck over, or is that no? They don't qualify because it's not.
Oh, they absolutely qualify.
Okay.
Oh, they qualify.
All right.
Yes.
It was bug related. I just brought it up.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And this, I don't know if this is a separate counterintelligence investigation. The FBI warned Giuliani he was the target of a Russian influence operation aimed at circulating falsehoods to damage President Biden. Ron Johnson got the same. And so the other thing about that is the fact that Frank Flaguzzi said it. He said, he said defensive briefings are given to people to alert them they are being targeted by foreign governments for malign purposes, but they're also used to see how they respond to that. They're now on notice. Well, they just went full steam ahead, which I would think adds another layer of illegality, right? Because they were warned.
Yes. You can't say you didn't know that it was illegal when they came to you and said, hey, boo, this is illegal if this happens.
Yeah.
Right. It's not lobbying. That's not lobbying when a foreign government comes to you to undermine the United States of America.
That's right.
A friend of mine was like, but don't you think it's been a while? Don't you think Rudy probably cleaned out his office? And I'm like, no. In fact, I bet you there's a box labeled receipts of our crimes. I bet you.
Angela, you have frequently said that there will be a point where there's just illegal stuff we've done, and it's literally labeled that. Right.
What did I say? Thank you, Stephanie. I've been saying this since the man got in office. Trust me, one day there will be a letter or a file that's titled crimes we've committed, Trump, etc. And what do we got?
Eyes only. Do not touch. Do not look in
Francis
here.
and I know stupid. We have been studying the stupid for years.
For decades.
Right. So we were saying they by the time, first of all, they got a warrant under Bill Barr to raid for Giuliani and for Gates, right? And Barr still might be brought down by all this, according to Glenn Kirshner, because he obviously, it was so bad he had to let it go forward, but he still tried to block it and obstruct justice. I mean, I'm going to make a prediction. Bill Barr goes down on obstruction of justice. What do you think?
Yep.
Absolutely. It's absolutely amazing. Like, the only thing that makes people, you do have this half thought of like, well, maybe they're innocent because is anybody this stupid? And then you're like, oh no, wait, no, they are this stupid.
Yeah.
They are this stupid.
And here's the thing, they have to prosecute everybody because who was involved in this.
Right.
We cannot allow this to happen. We can't allow Republicans to get into office and then get off scot-free. They've been doing it for 40 years.
Yeah. No, exactly. I was saying to Glenn, I mean, he really believes justice is coming, because I said, I get it. People on Twitter going, I'll believe it when I see it, but I mean, it just, and so much of it is tied together. And you're right. Roger Stone's in the middle of all of this, starting with 2016. I mean, and it's all one story.
Yeah, I think it's nothing to worry about for that reason. I mean, like canned meat has a higher rate of messing your blood up, I would think, than 6 out of 7 million. You know what I mean? 6 people out of 7 million. So I'm not at all worried about it. But as soon as I saw it, I was like, well, I know what this is about to be. They're going to take this ball and run with it, and make it like it's anti-vaxxers Christmas, when it comes to this situation. So I'm not surprised by any of that. You'll have that. It is what it is, but it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Now, what's interesting is the people who are most up in arms about this, at least the ones who are saying, see, I told you, are people who are never going to get the vaccine to begin with.
100%. Yes. They were never going to get it. It's people that, I mentioned canned meat earlier, but I just think about like people that I went to high school with that I see on Facebook saying they would never get the vaccine, because the government told them to. And I'm like, I saw you eat a possum because a dude named Lugnut told you to, you got real high standards now for what you're putting in your body, but it's because of the source. But you're right. They weren't going to get it either way, but that's not going to stop them from running their mouth about how big of a controversy this is, what has happened, when really it's not. The other thing is they're going to use it as validation to be like, look, we told you it wasn't safe, when in reality it's the opposite. In my opinion, it's like, no, we told you it was incredibly safe. It's so incredibly safe that you can't even get the vaccine that has a 0.000000088 failure rate or whatever. It's not even open to you because that's how safe and regulated it is. But they're not going to see it that way.
Yeah, I got to tell you, I love these cereal box epidemiologists who are telling us that it was a hoax, that the virus isn't real, and now that this is horribly tragic.
Yeah, right. Well, they say, they're like, yes, like you said, cereal box epidemiologists, they're, do your research. They'll say, it's like watching YouTube with your mouth open ain't research, like that's not what research is. It's not what that word means.